Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What a great day here on the fairgrounds in Springfield, Illinois. What do you think? You excited? I'm John Sullivan, the director of the Illinois Department of Agriculture. Welcome everybody here today to just a day that many of us have been waiting a long time for. We're just thrilled to be here today for this wonderful ribbon cutting. I'd like to take just a couple minutes to make a couple of introductions. Some of these people are going to speak later, but just want to run down through the list here real quickly. But first of all, please welcome the governor of the state of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker. And the Lieutenant Governor of the state of Illinois, Juliana Stratton. Juliana. I call her the cheerleader for the state fair. Deputy Director Warren Ghosh is here. Warren, hold your hand up there, please. We have several elected officials here. Let's see, I think he's been moved up for rep. State Senator Steve McClure. Where's Steve? State Representative Mike Murphy. Hi, Mike. State Representative Tim Butler. Hi, Tim. We have the 2019 Illinois County Fair Queen, Alexi Blado. Where's Alexi? Hi there. State Fair Manager, my best decision ever, Kevin Gordon. Where's Kevin? He's a little guy over there. Is Mayor Langfelder here? Yeah, Mayor, good to see you, Jim. Yeah. Great to have you here. What a great partnership we have with the city of Springfield. These two gentlemen are just, I'm just so thrilled that they are here. Dick and Tom Evans, they are the great-grandsons of the gentleman who built the Coliseum. Dick, where are you? Tom, thank you very much. We gave Dick a tour here, I don't know, a month or so ago, and I had a chance to visit with him, and he gave us a book to look over of some of his great grandfather's projects around not just Illinois but around the country. Just as you can tell, what a talented company that was. Jim Underwood with the Capital Development Board. Jim. The Secretary of the Department of Transportation, Omar Osman. Omar. John Getz is with R.D. Lawrence Construction Company. You're going to hear some remarks from John in just a minute. Where are you, John? Back here. John Slayton is the chairman of the Illinois State Fair Foundation. Where's John? Back over here. John, good to have you here. And Tim Blackerby. Where's Tim? Tim, where are you? He's usually way in the back somewhere. Way over there. Tim, hey, wait just a second. Wait just a second. So Tim is in charge of the buildings and grounds here on the fairgrounds, and he has worked on all these projects, but especially with the Coliseum. He has kind of been the go-between with the department and CMS and CDB, and he's just done an outstanding job. But additionally, Tim, I understand, is today your 50th birthday? The big 5-0. Happy birthday, Tim Blackerby. And Julie Daly. Julie, where are you? Over here. Hi, Julie. Julie she's an artist, and her Coliseum artwork, where is that? Back here. She's the lady who designed the artwork for this year's official State Fair envelope that can only be purchased during the fair at the State Fair post office inside the expo building. Give Julie a round of applause. Thank you very much, Julie. And I don't know if Jerry Morgan is here. Is Jerry here? The only reason I want to introduce Jerry, and I try to at every event that I can, is that Jerry Morgan is the gentleman. He and his staff are responsible for all the flowers on the fairground. And I tell you what, I don't know how many there are, but they've done a great job. I want to give a round of applause to he and his staff and the inmates from the work camp at the Department of Corrections. They've been out here every day. Give them a big round of applause. They've done such a good job. And lastly, I want to introduce Raymond Poe, my predecessor, the former director of the Illinois Department of Agriculture. Raymond, thank you very much. And I'm going to be honest with you, Raymond ought to be up here making these introductions, because it was that former administration and under Raymond's leadership that really got this project going. We're here today to cut the ribbon on the final project, but Raymond, you and your staff and crew did a great job. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Okay, so we're here today, and I'm sure I probably forgot to introduce somebody, and somebody will come up and tell me I did, but that's okay. But we're here today really to do the ribbon cutting on the Coliseum, the crown jewel of the Illinois State Fairgrounds. It's been closed for the last two fairs, almost 3 years now. It was built originally in 1901. It's undergone several reconstructions over the years, but this project here today is just absolutely an amazing project. We're so thrilled to be here today. I want to just mention that as an auctioneer, former auctioneer, and I guess still current auctioneer, the Sale of Champions is going to be held right here in the Coliseum on Tuesday evening, so we're really excited about that. Okay, let's get to our speakers here. The first gentleman I want to introduce is Warren Ghosh. He's the deputy director here at the department, and he's been here on the fairgrounds for a number of years. I think he was born and raised here, it sounds like. But help me introduce and give a round of applause to Warren Ghosh.
Well, good morning. And thank you, Director Sullivan. This is certainly, whoa, that was close. This is certainly a great day for the Department of Agriculture and the Illinois State Fairgrounds. But it is a much different day than that morning almost 3 years ago when we received word that the consulting engineering firm we had called in after a beam had fallen inside the Coliseum, and they'd completed their evaluations of the structural integrity of the building. They were recommending that we close the venue to the public until several identified problems were corrected. Since that time, we made initial emergency repairs to the Coliseum just to stabilize the structure so we wouldn't lose it. We made emergency upgrades to the adjacent warm-up arena to the south of this structure to provide an alternate venue to our many shows that were already scheduled to be held on the grounds. And then we embarked on an over 2-year odyssey to bring back this historic structure to its original majesty. And now, after an incredibly short 7-month construction period, we're about to officially reopen this iconic structure. Construction activities during that period included the placement and use and subsequent removal of 600 tons of rock on the arena floor just to support the various lifts and equipment used to help reconstruct the building, the replacement of approximately 2,500 bolts in the steel framework of the structure, the reinforcement of the existing steel support columns, including the concrete encasement of the column bases, the addition of over 190 tons of new structural steel to the existing framework of the building, the complete removal and replacement of the entire roof deck and shingles, including 146,680 feet, or the equivalent of 27.8 miles of 3-inch by 6-inch custom milled wood decking, 40,000 screws, 36,000 6-inch long nails, and 50,000 square feet of shingles. The addition of at least 5.5 inches of closed cell insulation in the entire roof, the installation of 250 new windows and mid-roof ventilators, the addition of energy-efficient lighting, and 21 8-foot diameter ceiling fans over the seating area, and 2 24-foot diameter ceiling fans over the arena floor, and the application of over 1,322 gallons of paint. We would not be here today without the incredible work of several agencies and private sector partners, some that you're going to hear from later. At the risk of forgetting someone, I'd like to acknowledge the assistance of the following. Certainly the Office of the Governor, various members of the General Assembly, the Capital Development Board, the Department of Agriculture and the Illinois State Fair staff, the Department of Central Management Services and our Fairgrounds Building and Ground staff, the IDNR Historic Preservation Division, the architect and the engineering firms of Bailey Edward and Hanson Engineering, the general contractor R.D. Lawrence, and all their many subcontractors and skilled tradesmen, and last but certainly not least, all the various groups who utilize the fairgrounds during the non-fair times that remained flexible during the facility closure and the reconstruction period. Each of these groups and organizations work closely together to consistently develop creative solutions to identified problems, always keeping us on track and on schedule. Thank you to everyone for your great work. But this is only the beginning of the story. We're now about to embark on the next phase of this restoration and modernization project, with the goal over the next few years to complete the restoration of the exterior of the building, add heating and air conditioning to the venue, and provide additional facility modernizations while maintaining the historic nature of this impressive structure and its availability to our many users that have stuck with us during these difficult years. We want this structure, which is truly the heart and soul of the fairgrounds, to continue to be the basis of fantastic memories for all who visit here for generations to come. Thank you again to everyone that had a hand in this initial phase, and thank you in advance to all who will have a part to play in the next phases to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Warren. Some people have commented that he was here when the building was originally built. I don't know if that's true. He has really shepherded this project through. We appreciate, Warren, and all your efforts there. Next, let me introduce the director of the Capital Development Board, Jim Underwood. Director.
Thank you. What a great day we're having here. What a great day we're having here. As was mentioned, repair and renovation of the Coliseum built in 1901 was by no means an easy task. In order to return this 45,000 square foot facility back to being structurally sound, the existing wood structure components, some of which dated back to original construction, had to be replaced to meet current building codes. This was done in a sequence of events in small portions, starting at the top of the roof structure in a circular fashion all the way around the perimeter of the building. And once the structural aspects were in place, the roof decking and roofing systems were able to then be installed. All the while, the existing steel was sandblasted and repainted, along with the installation of the new windows, doors, louvers, and masonry repairs. We'd like to take this opportunity to also thank the state legislators, and especially Governor Pritzker, for his early support for this project. We'd also like to thank the designers of record, Bailey Edwards, and their consultants, Hanson Engineers, EDI Environmental, and Chicago Cost System for their tremendous efforts. It's especially remarkable that from design to completion, starting in the dead of winter, this project was done in 9 months, with renovation starting January 11th and completion August 2nd. That's a little over 7 months of construction work to be completed on an $11 million renovation. General contractor, thank you, that's very good. The general contractor, R.D. Lawrence, and their talented team of subcontractors achieved what we set out to do in record time. Those subcontractors consisted of area erectors doing the ironwork, Western Specialty Contractors doing the roofing, Aero Glass doing the glazing, Hinson Robinson the HVAC work, Abateco performing the lead paint abatement, Bioform doing the roof installation, Stoops Plumbing, and Ageezy Electric. From the very beginning of removing the first section of roof deck to the last piece of glass being installed, they worked in concert with the architects, engineers, Department Ag, and our CDB staff led by Mike Wilson, Ron Wright, Tim Patrick, and Ed James to give this historic facility back to the people of Illinois and all that traveled to participate and observe the events that are held here. The project included the work of over 100 highly skilled, talented Springfield building tradesmen and women, averaging 40 persons daily, working 2 shifts in order to accomplish the goal of having this ready in time for the 2019 Illinois State Fair. We owe a special gratitude of thanks to those workers for their dedication and their craftsmanship. Governor Pritzker, Director Sullivan, as just mentioned, we'd be remiss if we didn't let you know, with your support, we aren't done. As was just talked about, Phase 2 is in design, and we're ready to be standing here in a couple years for another state fair to herald the completion of that project. Thanks to everyone.
Thank you, Director Underwood, and many of the folks or the folks representing those different organizations are in the crowd. Hold your hand up if you had a part in this construction project. Just hold your hand up in the air. Take a look around. Thank you, all of you. Next, I'd like to introduce the gentleman with R.D. Lawrence Construction Company that has been very involved in this project, Mr. John Getz. John?
Thank you, Director Sullivan. I just want to thank numerous people that weren't mentioned, particularly, first of all, thank God for the relatively safe work site we had here. As you can tell by the heights of the structure and the steep pitch on the roof, there were several situations that we had to contend with just to get the work done and done safely, and the good Lord blessed us with that. I want to reach out to my team at R.D. Lawrence, particularly Aaron Gorbett, our project manager, Dan Westlake, our site superintendent, and Judy McMurrill, that is our office manager. I want to thank them for all the long hours that they put in and got the job done on time. I'd like to express my thanks to Local 270 for the carpenters, Local 46 for the ironworkers, Local 477 for the laborers that provide the qualified personnel that we used on this job. We had a pretty steady crew, not too many coming and going. Furthermore, I want to thank our local steel fabricator that came through with the, as you heard before, the 190 tons of steel to get the job done on time. We got Mark and Tony Savaggio here with us today. We got Luke Lowe and Rich Miller. I also want to extend my appreciation to the design team, Bailey Edwards in particular, and Hanson Engineers in particular, and the Capital Development Board. We made considerable changes on the fly to expedite the construction process, and they cooperated with us 110%. With that being said, I'm told I'm supposed to introduce Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton.
Good morning, everyone. Well, isn't this just a beautiful day for a grand reopening? And I am so excited to be here today. Thank you, John, for the introduction. And thank you to everyone who raised their hands and those who are not here today who had something to do with this beautiful reopening of the Coliseum. I can say that the Coliseum has never looked better. And it has been returned to being the showpiece of the Illinois State Fair. So thank you to all of you who are here today, including all of the agency heads and others and legislators who stand behind me. In fact, what we are seeing here today is really the perfect metaphor for what's happening right here in the state of Illinois under our governor's leadership. Our governor has allowed our state and has put our state in the process of being rebuilt to the best version of itself. That's what happened with the Coliseum. That's what's happening with our state. And so I am so proud to now bring forth the governor of the state of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker.
Well, welcome everybody to the first full day of the fair. Thank you so much to Juliana for that very kind introduction. I'm really excited that she and I can be here to witness and pronounce the return of this historic building to the fairgrounds after 2 years of construction. Well, really 9 months. But so much effort and planning that has gone into it, really very impressive. As Juliana mentioned, the theme of this year's State Fair is building our future. Making sure that we're shaping a world that works for generations to come, for Illinoisans yet to come. And that applies to this building. But it also applies to our 2 state fairgrounds as a whole. The future of the agriculture industry in our state and infrastructure all across the state of Illinois. Our capital plan, Rebuild Illinois, invests in communities statewide from Rockford to Carbondale and every place in between. We're building billions of dollars of economic activity and jobs, and we're doing it without leaving anybody behind. A portion of the $2.5 billion that our capital plan sets aside for deferred maintenance funding will be spent on improvements at both the Springfield Fairgrounds and the DuQuoin Fairgrounds. We want to get to a point where the entirety of the grounds in both places are in as spectacular condition as this new Coliseum building. And on that note, I'm really excited that the three young people who named this Coliseum, for years to come, they've named this Coliseum, that they were able to join us today. We opened a contest to name the new building and received 98 submissions from 4-H, from FFA and Junior Horsemen's Council members from all across the state of Illinois. Three of them proposed ideas that were chosen for the official name, the Coliseum of Champions. It's my honor to be able to grant them awards of recognition and blue ribbons of their own, along with mega passes to enjoy the fair. So, ladies and gentlemen, Elena Kessler of the Clay City FFA, Kylie Neisler of the Country Roots 4-H Club of Montgomery County, and Emma Ethington of the Fairview Huskies 4-H. Please join me.
Which one? Yeah. Which one's which? There you go. Here's the ribbons. Okay, now you guys have to wear these. No, just thank you. Here you go, Governor. Each one will get a plaque. More appreciation. There you go. Great job, ladies. We have to flip these around.
Well done. These young people are really impressive. Let's give them all a nice big round of applause one more time. All right, now we're going to cut the ribbon, everybody. Right. Go right up here. Just hold on to the ribbon. Just hold the ribbon. There you go. Hold the ribbon. Hold on to the ribbon. You ready? Okay, everybody. 1, 2, 3.
Savaggio Steel and my brother Tony and I have been very involved not only with the State Fairgrounds, many buildings, the cattle building around the corner, a lot of the barns here, but we've also done almost all the work for the State Capitol building. My father was very involved in that over the years, and we've done a lot of that. We've also been recently involved with the Governor's Mansion, the remodel of the Governor's Mansion, which and our father built the Governor's Mansion back in the late 60s. So we're very proud of being a fixture in Springfield, Illinois, and this is a great city to be in, and we've got good leadership, and we just need to keep everybody moving in a positive direction.